You all feel ready? We are live. All right, awesome. So it looks like we have some people trickling in. Welcome. I'm going to wait until exactly 6 to kind of start on my quick spiel for you all, but I'm glad you're able to join us tonight. All right. Awesome. So I'm Katie. I am not one of your presenters tonight. I am just here to say welcome to the virtual college exploration for all Pennsylvania students, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. Really quick housekeeping before we get started. If you have any questions, we do invite you to use the Q&A button on your screen to type out questions at any point. Your camera and your microphone are off, so panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so we'd love if you would check out the full schedule at pacac.org, PACA.org. The presentation right now is being recorded and it will be available within about a week at that same website, PACAC.org. I think I said it incorrectly the first time. Please excuse me. And with that, I would love to go ahead and turn this over to our presenters.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Rothar, and this is Jason Albert. We are both counselors at Roche University, which is located in Pennsylvania. And we have a little presentation for you. So hopefully you can learn some more about La Roche and maybe join us if you're one as well. Okay. So this is Roche University. The area that you see is most of our campus, and then far back are some of the athletic fields. And this is another area. This is another house. We were founded by the Congregation of Sisters of Divine Providence in 1963. And our founder is Marie de Roche, and so that is also the name of our university to kind of pay homage to her. And at La Roche, even though we are somewhat small, we have students who represent 36 different countries, 19 states, including Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. About 1,300 students, and our student to faculty ratio is 12 to 1. And we are also a Catholic university, and so these are some of the accolades: Pennsylvania College of Distinction, and then particularly under the Catholic umbrella. And so while you're at La Roche, you will have the La Roche experience. This is both a class that you will be taking and what we are hoping that you will get out of your whole 4 years there. So the goal is to foster global citizenship and empower students to become lifelong learners. And so in your classes for the La Roche experience, you will not only learn how to think and write in a liberal arts way, but also to apply that knowledge to the major that you're going to have and then what you will do afterward. And so these are some of our areas in the business department. So you could major in accounting, finance, information technology, international management and information systems, and marketing. That sounds like a lot. And it is where we just want to provide as many opportunities for you as possible, including the area that you would like to study. We also have a design department that houses graphic and interior design. Both of these programs are accredited by outside organizations, and that in a nutshell means that they give us a thumbs up, that we have current curriculum, that our teachers are teaching classes that are very appropriate for the workplace, and that your degree will prepare you to enter that work field, and you will already be fully trained. You don't have to worry about being on a learning curve or having classes that are maybe a little outdated. Those outside organizations make sure that their classes stay up to date with what's relevant in that field. Then we have lots of different education options. So if you were thinking about becoming a teacher one day, you can major in pre-K through 4 with special education. You can do middle level education for English, language arts and science, math, social studies and history, and then social studies and political science. There is also a newer major that is not listed here because Pennsylvania actually just allows students to become certified in special education for pre-K through 12. So if your heart is really in special ed, you can have a specific major that gets you from all of the little kids through the students who are ready to graduate. And then we also have engineering. We partner through the University of Pittsburgh, so all of these programs are 3 years at La Roche and 2 years at Pitt. You will graduate with 2 bachelor's degrees, so it takes an additional year than most students. You do the second bachelor's. One will be from La Roche, one will be from Pitt, and they can be in 2 different disciplines. So if you are doing, say, industrial engineering at Pitt, you may be major in mathematics at La Roche, so they don't necessarily have to say the exact same thing. And then these are our health professions, and there's a wide variety of them. So if you're looking for anything from maybe becoming a doctor one day to something like dentistry or working with x-rays, a little bit of everything. Some of these programs partner with BCom, which is the Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine. And with that, you would spend 3 or 4 years at La Roche and then 4 years at BCom. And then these are our wonderful humanities. I myself am like a humanities major, so I have a special place in my heart for history. And then I believe Jason has his major in psychology. Not quite humanities, but not necessarily one of those immediate professions like the medical field might be. And then we also have math and natural behavior sciences. So this is where Jason falls. One of our more popular majors in this department is going to be the criminal justice and criminology. And then if you also were interested in forensics, you could do forensics with a concentration in biology or chemistry, whichever one you like better. And then we also have some visual and performing arts with communications, media, technology, film, and dance. And so one of the ways that we use our education to provide that global experience is through study abroad and study USA. This is an opportunity for all students all the way through senior year. So it comes with a 10-day trip. The cost of the flight, the meals, the transportation, and the lodging while you're gone is all covered by your tuition for one trip. And some classes will go through different countries, and the classes rotate on a yearly basis. So it's not the same trips year after year. When you go on the trip, you also earn additional credit, which is also just nice to have. And since after graduation, you will spend more time outside of La Roche than you will in La Roche. And so life afterward kind of makes you wonder what will you do, or how likely will it be that you'll have a job waiting for you at the end. So we have a 94% rate for students going into employment, grad school, military services, or a volunteer initiative like the Corps or the Peace Corps. And to give you an idea of some companies that our students have gone on to work for, this is just a short list of them. A handful are particular to the Pittsburgh area, such as the Pens, Pirates, and the Steelers. But then there's other ones that are on a more global level, such as Verizon or Westinghouse. And for the students who would be living on campus, our dorms are actually quite spacious, in my opinion. We have air conditioning, closets for each student, so you'll have, especially as a freshman, you will only have one roommate. We provide the refrigerator and the microwave, so you don't have to worry about purchasing those. And then we also have a private bathroom. This is very, very nice. You and your roommate are the only ones who will get to use that bathroom. You don't have to worry about sharing one with your whole hallway. And then the only thing that's not pictured in this slide are the closet spaces, but they are on the opposite side of the bathroom. And so if you're living on campus, you'll also be eating a lot on campus. And we use Sage dining services. Your freshman year meal plan will cover breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Friday, and then brunch and dinner on Saturday and Sunday. And you're probably asking, how does it taste? Every time I've had the opportunity to eat lunch or dinner at Roche, I think it tastes very, very good. If you come in, you get a FaceTime, and there is a little bit of everything. So if you wanted a salad or fruit, if you wanted pizza, or if you're looking for more of like the protein-related things for the athletes, they kind of show you by diagram how to portion your plate. So versus game day and training days, pretty interesting. And then they also have an international section where there's always something different. So that also is part of our mission in getting students exposed to lots of different types of culture, and food is definitely one of those things. And so then we also have lots of clubs and organizations. And the really cool thing about La Roche is you can create your own club. I like to use the example of knitting just because I like to knit. If you found 10 other students in a faculty member who could be your advisor for your group, you could have a club solely for knitting. A more relevant option is there was a group of students who really liked playing board games, and we made a club last year of just playing board games. And we also have concerts, usually in the spring semester, and this is just a fun opportunity to just enjoy campus. It's one of those social sides of college that is not always academic. And then we have the mission and ministry. There's a variety of things that we do with mission and ministry. There are masses on campus. We do not require our students to attend mass. We do have an interfaith prayer room where any student can go for a nice quiet space to practice whatever faith your walk of life has led you to. We also do not require religion classes in order to graduate. They're available if you are interested in them, but not a requirement. And Jason is going to take it away.
All right, our next slide, when it switches over, is service learning. There are plenty of opportunities for service learning at La Roche. We have things that are called alternative spring breaks, where you can take your spring break and help and maybe join a Habitat for Humanity. We've had ones in Mexico and other places. Another thing would be the food pantry here on campus, and then also, like I mentioned before, Habitat for Humanity. We have 14 Division III athletic teams. The slides are a little slow. There we go. We have 14 Division III athletic teams for both men and women to play, and for people to go down and watch them as well. All right, so where is La Roche located and what does it look like around us? So we're about 15 minutes from downtown Pittsburgh, a drive, which we provide transportation to go down there. We provide events, and it's nice to go down into the city, but it's kind of nice that we're not in the city where the whole traffic and all that. We're kind of secluded in a nice little area. Right across where you can actually see from campus is McCandless Crossing. And McCandless Crossing is this huge lot that has movie theaters, restaurants, and a bunch of things. So students can get the chance if they need a part-time job. And if they don't even have a car on campus, it's in walking distance. It's real close. So they can get a part-time job. I knew a lot of students actually that worked at the movie theater, and they could watch movies when they weren't working, and then so they really enjoyed that. And then there's shopping as well, and places like Burgatory. It's pretty fun and entertaining. We're also close to North Park, which is a nice park that is about 5 minutes away. And if you're into more outdoorsy things, this is the place for you. There's miles and miles of hiking. During the warmer season, you can rent kayaks, canoes, and paddle boats. You can be out on the water. During the winter, you can ice skate. They, have ice skating, and it's just a really nice place. And there's also this really neat restaurant, and it's just a really nice place to spend time outdoors. Okay, so the admissions process, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. You can complete the application online. It is free, so I recommend doing it. Even if this is, one of your top 3 choices, this is a free option to just apply. That you would have to just submit your high school transcripts and submit your SAT or ACT scores. If you didn't take the SATs due to like COVID, or if you just didn't take them, or the ACTs, you can do this optional choice, which is you don't have to take the test, but you get a letter. You have to have a letter of recommendation instead. And that's really it for the admissions process. Pretty simple. Transfer admissions process is basically the same. The big difference is you need to schedule a credit evaluation appointment. So when you do this, then you can see which credits can transfer, all that kind of good stuff. Go ahead. All right, so the money part, the thing that we're all worried about. So more than $11 million in merit scholarships awarded each year. In the last year, we had $17,500 for a single student getting, which is pretty awesome. And then 91% of students usually receive financial aid. So if you take a look here, tuition is $29,470, and room and board is $11,910. So with that, if you got that $17,000, that's over half of your tuition covered, and that's money you don't have to pay back. That's that's a scholarship. So it's really nice to know that, half of your tuition is pretty much paid for. Something that is also nice is La Roche is one of the cheapest, or the cheapest, private college university in Pennsylvania, and it's 20% lower than the average cost of private colleges. So this is really nice too. So if you want this small school, this private university, it's good to know that we're one of the cheaper ones. So there's student loans if you need them. So the good thing to know is all that kind of help with the money and the scholarships, that you don't really need that much of a student loan. And La Roche is known to have one of the least amount of debt, or students to have the least amount of debt when they get out. So that's something really neat to know too. So what is financial aid? Financial aid is money to assist you or your family in paying college. It's available in many different forms. Federal student aid, state ways, institutional, and private. So there's two different types of aid. First, there's like the gift aid, which is like grants or scholarships. That's stuff that you do not have to pay back. You don't have to, you don't have to worry about it. It's free money, and it just helps you. So self-help aid, like loans, those are things that you have to pay back after you graduate. They're, it's kind of like a house loan or a car loan or anything, like any kind of payments that you would have to make. The neat thing about work study, though, work study can help you pay back those loans while you're in school, and it's kind of like, you don't really think about it. You're just kind of paying on to those loans. So it's kind of a nice opportunity. So FAFSA is very important, free application for federal student aid. This is how we build your financial aid packet. This is something that's super important, and it helps you out. Even if you don't use financial aid, it still helps with the building the packet. So yeah. So it's October 1st today. Fill out that FAFSA. Even if you have a bunch of schools in mind and you haven't applied, just fill that out, get that out of the way. You can put up to, like I said earlier, put up to 10 schools on there. It's just very important to get that filled out. You have until May 1st at most Pennsylvania states, most Pennsylvania schools. It does vary between different schools. Don't wait for acceptance to apply. Just do it. So where can I find scholarships? You might be thinking. I don't know. Well, there are different ways. You can ask the admission office, or you can talk to your financial aid office. Other ways is there are community organizations through your local library, cultural groups, and churches. Something that we at the admissions office would push you towards would be these different websites like FastWeb. Fastweb.com is really neat, where you can type in some information about yourself, and it gives you scholarships that you already can like fill out, and it usually gives you new ones as much as you want. So if you want weekly updates, monthly updates, or whatever, and you just fill them out, and you see if you qualify for these scholarships. Some tips: research scholarships during fall of the senior year. Apply only if you qualify. Make sure the application is complete and neat. Include all required documents, and watch out for deadlines. Deadlines are important. Things to remember: keep copies of everything. And this is not just with your scholarships. This is everything that you do. Fill out application, just keep copies of everything. Things can get lost. You just want to cover your own, cover yourself. Sign everything. Read all the correspondence carefully. Ask questions. Notify financial aid office if your financial status changes. And remember deadlines. Deadlines are important. You have to keep track of those. If you're interested in coming to visit La Roche, or you're interested in just what La Roche are doing or the students are doing, we recommend join our social media, join our Instagram or Twitter, Facebook. We post on Facebook. The students post on Facebook. It's pretty popular to do. On Instagram, we just recently posted some things of the fall weather. So, we just to keep up to date with everything.
So that's pretty much all that we have for the presentation. We wanted to leave some time in case anyone had any questions. You can go ahead and put those in the chat feature, and then hopefully we can get everything cleared up for you.
I know during the beginning of the presentation, it was a little hard to understand Christina, but if you have any questions from that or anything at all, just ask and we'll clarify anything.
Yeah. I might have a remedy.
It's better now. I couldn't hear you at all.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, it sounded like you were in a tunnel for a while.
Zoom was giving me a warning, but I didn't know how to fix it.
Yeah, I know. What are you going to do?
But something else that we wanted all students to know is that La Roche is having in-person visits. You can get a lot of information online, and access to information has grown immensely because of COVID. However, that might make it still kind of difficult for you to decide where you might want to go, especially if you're down to maybe like 2 or 3 schools. And no matter how many times you go on the school's website, you just really might not be able to hone in on what's so different about them that is going to lead you to choosing one over another. And so we're hoping that by being on our campus and seeing like the student life and everything, that will help you in your decision process as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna jump in to quickly say thank you so much for joining us. When you close this window, there's going to be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We would love any feedback that you can provide. And as I said at the beginning, this is just one of the many sessions being hosted, so please be sure to sign up for additional sessions at pacac.org. And in about a week, you will receive, you will be able to find this session's recordings as well as all of our other session recordings, again at pacac.org. And thank you all so much for coming today.